Hello and welcome to the Stamp Camp. I just got back from a mini vacation and quickly came into my stamp room to show you a little tip and technique for my featured stamp set for the month of August, which is the To a Wild Rose. So just checking to make sure I am up. Yes, Janice is on. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining me tonight. I hope that the little tip helps you. We're going to be using the Stamparatus. The Wild Rose stamp set is like a 3-step stamp. So there's like 3 of the same image that you need to stamp on top of each other. So the Stamparatus, in my opinion, is a must-have for this stamp set. Now I'm going to go ahead. Thanks for sharing, Janice. Going to go ahead and change my camera over. Hi, Judy. Okay, so now you can see my featured stamp set for the month, which is the To a Wild Rose. This is a bundle, so you want to purchase the bundle because you get the stamp set and then you also get the coordinating dies that go with your stamp set. When you purchase it in a bundle, you're going to save 10%. What I like about the bundles lately with Stampin' Up! Is they give you the dies to cut out your images that you need, but they also give you bonus die cuts for different images that you do not have a stamp for. Like this one right here, this is what I used on my cards for framing in the sentiment. Got some other leaves here. This fun outline image of a flower here. This trellis or pretty, I don't know, eyelet type die there, and then you have your leaf die. So there's lots in that bundle, and I love the fact that they add additional things to the die set. I also paired my featured stamp set with the basket weave embossing folder. This is one of the 3D embossing folders. With this folder, you are going to want to purchase the new embossing pad. Let me grab it. It is this blue number right here. That will save you a lot of time, and it's worth every penny without having to shim and worry about if it's going to emboss deep enough or if you're going to get the right amount of shims. It's $10, and I think it's well worth the money. So if you click on show more at the bottom of my video when I post it up on YouTube, I'll have the number to purchase this plate along with the other supplies that you're going to need. But these are the first 4 cards for this month's featured stamp set. So if you purchase the featured stamp set or $50 before shipping and tax, use that hostess code. You're going to get the PDF file for all my cards for the whole month of August. I feature 4 at the beginning, and every week I show you more cards that you can do with your bundle. So by the end of the month, you have between 8, 10, it just depends on how many I do that month, PDF files using that stamp set of the month. Now this one here is a crisscross card with a pullout, so it's like a pocket card. And then this one has the peekaboo window. And then these are just gorgeous cards using that framelit from the additional framelit that I talked about in the coordinating framelits. So tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you with the Stamparatus how to line up your flower images, and it will be the same for your leaves as well as the flowers. So we're going to bring in the Stamparatus. This is the Stamparatus, and we also have an additional plate, which we're going to use that as well. So we have a plate this way and a plate this way. Now to keep them level, it just helps in inking your stamps. I want to make sure that I'm staying in the camera view here. I'm going to just put another stamp pad, I should say, underneath them, and that makes it a little bit almost level. This one's got to come up just a hair more because I'm not on the grid, so that might work better. All right, so now I find it easier to stand up. So I'm going to switch my camera to hands only because so that you don't see me standing up, just like that. And we're going to bring in the stamp set. Now the pad does come out and you have this nice grid, but because the Two Wild Rose is a photopolymer stamp, you want that extra sponge. So you want to put that foam pad that comes with Stamparatus, you want to put that in there. All right, so I'm going to take out my stamps. And I use the cover here as a guide because one thing with the photopolymer is after you've used it for a while, it's no longer clear. It will get red or pink. So what I do, I'm going to take these out, is I just have this as a guide, kind of how I want to place it. And for some reason, this petal right here, which it's right here, is my guide. And so it helps me for the other two layers. So I always start out with the outline image, and I cut my cardstock the same, 3 by 3. And this will help for placement. So I put it all the way, you want to make sure your pad is tucked nicely in the corner. So I put it all the way up into the corner, and then I'm going to put in my little magnet, and that one should do the trick. And then I just going to center that flower, and like I said, I'm kind of matching it up like it is on here. So this is always, that petal is always in that corner, or that bottom corner like that, and it just helps me to line things up. If I kind of make that straight there and that petal's off there, I'm going to close that up, and now it's stuck on there. I'm going to change up my color combination for tonight. I have done tons of different color combinations, but tonight I am going to go with Calypso Coral, Terra Cotta Tile, and Grapefruit Groove. I just thought these 3 oranges would be pretty nice to give a try. So I'm going to start out with the darkest first for my outline, which is the Terra Cotta Tile. So I'm going to ink that up, and then I'm going to stamp it. What I love about the Stamparatus is it didn't stamp so good, which it does look pretty good, but let's just say it didn't stamp real good. We're going to ink it again, and we're going to stamp it again. No worries, because it stayed in that one spot. So you can do it repeatedly over and over until you get the coverage and the inked image how you want it. I think that looks pretty good right there. So now we're going to move it down to do our second image. And I did all my flowers to once like this. So you can do a bunch at a time, and then you're going to just die cut them all out at one time. So what I did was I used the edge of my pad here to line that cardstock up. And if you cut your paper the same, 3 by 3, and you go through a pile and you line it up the same every time, it should match up every time. Because we can't use that, I just want to make sure that this gets tucked in there, because sometimes it'll pull. Because we can't use that grid because we need the pad, I tend to use elements of like the bottom edge here, and then when I come up here with the third, I use this side here to line up my paper, so it's lined up the same every time. So now the next image that I'm going to use is the one with a little bit more detail. And then the final is going to be more like a solid. So this is the one I'm using right here. So I want to just make sure that I have my image just like the one on the picture here, which here is my little sticking out part, which is that one here. I line it up with that one there. And this is where I need to stand up just to make sure that it's getting in straight. That looks pretty good. We'll see. We'll give it a try. Okay, we're stuck down. The next color I'm going with is the Calypso Coral. So we're going to ink that up. And we'll see if we're lined up. We're a little off, but it's not too bad. This one has been giving me the most problems of all. Oops, I took my magnet away. Oops. The magnet is very a must. You want that magnet. I'm going to just try this again. And we'll ink it again. There we go. That's much, much better. Okay, now we're going to bring it up, take the magnet off, make sure that it's square into this corner, and then we're going to bring it up. Sorry, I hit the camera with my head. And we're going to make sure that it's straight along that side. So I always use the mat in the corners as my guide. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with the solid image. And we'll make sure we got this piece. Let's see. That would be, this is my little piece right there. So I always look for that one. I'm going to bring the top one down. Press that on. And now we're going to come in with the grapefruit groove. I like to try all the different color combinations. Ooh, that's pretty. I'm going to ink it one more time. That looks gorgeous. So what I did it on the, let's see, what is this? This is the petal pink, just to see the difference, how it would be on white versus a colored cardstock. It looks like, oh, this dried, so I lost a little bit of detail. But here's it on white. It might just be that terracotta. So you can kind of see the difference. On white, it's a little brighter, and on the petal pink, it's just a little deeper, darker. But remember, your ink's going to dry up and lighten up. So now I'm going to show you. We should have them all lined up. So I'm going to put that in the corner and come in with the terracotta ink. And this is what I did over and over and over with all the different color combinations. I did like 5 of one of, like I would do 5 of these colors, and then I went in with different pinks, and then I went in with different blues. So I'm going to match up the paper to the bottom of the pad. We're going to just fold this in, see how we are. I'm going to give it a whirl, see what happens here. This is the Calypso Coral. I'll just go lightly and we'll see. That looks pretty good. And then we'll go up to this corner. Make sure that your pad stays tight. And this is like the first time I really used the Stamparatus a lot. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right, but this is how I did it, and it worked pretty good for me. So as long as you cut your paper all the same, you can just keep going and do all 3 steps over and over and over again. I love that. And then do the same thing with your leaves. The leaves have 3 different stamps in the set as well. For my project, the ones I've shown so far, I just used the outline leaves and then the solid leaves. I didn't do the second step leaves, which I'll do probably on another project. And then when I change color, I just take our chamois, our foam chamois. I love this. And I just go over the top. So make cleanup quick and easy, and I can quickly go to another color scheme. Just dry that off. That looks pretty good. Make sure my magnet doesn't have any ink on it. Sometimes it does. But that's pretty much how easy it is. I'll go here so you can see me again. So that is how I've been doing my roses. But like I said, I think that for me, the Stamparatus is a must-have for the stamp set. When you have lots of images that need to be stamped on top of each other, that goes so much faster than me trying to eyeball it, especially when, like mine, it starts getting really pink, reddish in color. It makes lining it up a little bit more difficult. So with the Stamparatus, it's very easy to do that. So let's see. Here I am. So if you have any questions regarding the To a Wild Rose or my featured stamp set, how do you get the PDF files, you can email me, glenda@thestampcamp.com. Also, if you go to my blog, www.thestampcamp.com, I have all the details on there as well. So that is my tip for you tonight. Any questions? Janice, I just took mine out of the box not that long ago. So you're not alone. I'm loving the Stamparatus. I was a little scared to use it at first, but I am really loving it, especially for stamp sets like this. And I think you will as well. So if that is it for tonight, no questions, I thank you so much. Make sure to share and comment that you shared. I see there Lana and other ones have already shared. I appreciate that so much. I will put you in the drawing to receive a card that I made with the wild rose. So stay tuned for that. But that is it for tonight. Thanks for stopping by.